one, as a fund manager, what we do is what we see that multiple triggers happening, and that multiple triggers in any business cycle can happen over a period of time. Never try to time the market to participate in the next growth stories. You have to look beyond the large cap. We prefer to give very conservative valuation to the companies.
Hi all, this is Akshara Menon from Famous Bazaar, welcoming you all to the new Fund Manager series, Connect. Today, we have Mr. Arpit Shah, co-founder, CARE PMS. Hello, sir.
Hello, Akshara.
Yeah, nice to have you today, sir.
Thank you. Pleasure is entirely mine. Thanks to you and PMS Bazaar team for conducting this, Connect.
So, CARE PMS is a boutique PMS which has an AUM about 1,000 crores in asset under management. And also, it runs two strategies. One is growth plus value, and another one is large and mid cap. And to know more about it, we have Mr. Arpit Shah to talk on this.
Yeah, thank you. So, CARE PMS, as you mentioned, is a boutique PMS company. Traditionally, we started with small and mid cap focus strategy, which we call as growth plus value strategy, and which is around 95% of our exposure. Post-COVID, around 2020, July 2020, we started with our another strategy, which is called large and mid cap strategy, which is focusing mainly on top 250 companies. Among the top 250 companies, only we invest. About CARE PMS, our best part is about performance. That we could deliver around 24% CAGR since inception, which means that in 3.5 years, your money is getting doubled, which is net of also fees. The another part is probably since I am the founder director, we call it the most ethical company. We are a team of people based out of Mumbai. So yeah, that's about CARE PMS.
That was a lot about CARE PMS indeed, I must say that. And to start off with, there's no more one size fits all for any investor now. So what is that unique strategy that you follow, investment philosophy?
So when we started the company, our philosophy was that there are many multi-baggers available in the market. We wanted to encash that part, and we were doing pretty well. We are still doing pretty well on that part. But now, as the market is getting matured, even we are becoming little big people from scratch. Now we are managing about 1,000 crores. So what we are doing is we have launched one exclusive strategy as large and mid cap strategy, which will focus on top 250 companies. And in our growth plus value strategy also, we are around 70% exposure only we are taking into small cap, while we have added recently some large cap companies like ONGC, GAIL. So these are the two options that we have on the platter, which can the client may see some kind of diversification.
So when you talk on valuations, small and mid-cap sectors are generally, or stocks are generally overvalued, or have a stretched valuation during a bull run. And generally investors pay a premium. So how do you see this factor?
See, at CARE PMS, we have always remained very conservative as far as the valuations are concerned. In bull run, what is happening now? Earlier people used to discount 1 or 2 years earning in advance. Now people are in 2024, they have started discounting 2029 earnings. So that is not how actually CARE PMS will play. Of course, we invest into companies with the 3 to 5 years time horizon in mind. We understand what story can unfold. However, my valuation for the company would be based on the recent or the visibility of the financials. We would not pay a company to discount from FY29 earnings. So that is there. Plus, there are many companies are available at reasonably good valuations. There are sector rotation is happening, and you get very good, reasonably valued industry leaders into a particular sector. So valuation, of course, one has to be very much risk averse. He has to be very much alert on what valuation he is paying. One should not end with overpaying the particular company, and that is what we have seen in recent history of the defense sector, defense companies or the railway companies, where the visibility gets little blurred and you see the very sharp fall in the on those stocks.
Okay. So when you say that, the growth opportunities in top companies are limited. So how do you see that, and how do you see the growth opportunities in small and mid cap space now?
Okay. See, actually, there is a myth that top A companies are A grade. There is see, if we take Nifty 50, there are two sectors like financials and IT constitute around 50% of the total constituent of the this Nifty 50, right? So there are lot many options available into small and mid cap space, which are actually industry leaders, which are can be termed as based on this financial criteria, their valuation, which can be qualified as a grade company. Only because of the lower market cap, it doesn't mean that they are inferior companies. So like we are having one of our largest holding is JK Paper. They are into copier paper, and they are having copier paper packaging and then multi-layer packaging. They have done this backward integration. Also, they are now into corrugated boxes. So they are having around 30% market share in printing stationery, printing copier paper, correct? So we call this as a A-grade company. It is India's largest printing paper company. Similarly, we have Dawat, which is another name is LT Foods. So Dawat is having around 50% market share in basmati rice, branded basmati rice in USA in the name of Royal. They have very good significant market share in Europe. In India also they are gaining very good traction as far as the branded basmati is caping. So these companies are having very good financials, very excellent cash flow and very reasonably valued. So I don't see there is any problem of having these industry leaders even though they are falling into small cap, but they are worth holding it.
True. And when you talk about sectors, that now that we spoke a lot more on sectors, I would say your growth plus value, which is your flagship strategy, has completed 10 years in this industry.
Correct.
And also, I could see that there's no space for financials or autos in that particular strategy. And also, these two sectors are expected to do well. So, what is that? Why is that you have not given space for these two sectors?
See, actually, we are sector agnostic. We are there are some prohibited sectors. We being the Jain in fund managers, we don't invest in particular sector like liquor and leather. But we are sector agnostic. A simple line answer is that we don't find that value creation happening in this banking and finance segment or even auto sectors, auto ancillary. We are having some exposure in Maruti and other companies through our large and mid cap strategy. But in growth plus value, we find that there are multi-baggers available at reasonably valued for which we can hold. We are willing to hold for next 3 to 5 years. So that is the only reason. We are otherwise very sector agnostic. We are open for all the sectors there.
And being your holding period is long, when you hold GK Paper, or it can be L&T for, or it can be we have Kaveri says you have been holding it for a longer period of time.
Yes.
So don't you feel that timing effect? Because missing profits, missing of booking the profits get missed while holding it for a very long period. How do you ever partially booked profit?
So at the time of purchase, we have kept around 12% allocation to one company. What to identify the multi-baggers? One, as a fund manager, what we do is what we see that multiple triggers happening, and that multiple triggers in any business cycle can happen over a period of time. So till the time financials are in my favor, valuations are in my favor, triggers are happening, and we remain still confident on the management, we would not mind holding the particular company. But in small cap particularly, based on my experience and observation, what I observed is that if say I'm buying a company at 100 rupees, with anticipation to reach it to say 500 rupees in 5 years. Example, for 4 years and 9 months, it may hover around 120 to 80 rupees. That is how the small cap behaves. So in next 3 months, it may cross from 120 to 500 rupees. That is how small cap actually has behaved, and that is what we have seen in recent past also. So what is in my control are the vouching the financials, vouching the valuations, whether the management is committed. Those are things which are in my control. So we don't mind having longer term time horizon in mind. We never try to time the market. Even today, when our portfolio companies are also at lifetime high, when markets are lifetime high, we are almost more than 90% we have remained invested, and that has been the history of Care PMS since throughout the journey, since inception of last 13 years. We have remained fully invested. So we don't want to time the market. Instead, we would like to give time to market.
That's great. That's great. And when you say large, mid, and small cap allocations, these days, small attraction towards small and mid caps are more when compared to large caps. We could see many multi-cap PMSs or flexi-cap PMSs giving more weightage to small and mid cap now, and the the weightage towards large cap are significantly reducing because of this. So don't you feel when there's overcrowded in two caps, which is small and mid cap, and the large cap being undervalued now? So don't you feel any opportunities more in large cap now?
See, of course, it is individual's call first. See, large cap, we have very limited options. Okay, and what we are seeing in large cap is, FIIs are continuously selling from India from last 2 years or more than 2 years. They are negative, and their largest holding were the banking, financial sectors, IT. Those were their largest holding. So we see that some selling pressure is because of that. However, in the small and mid cap, you get very great opportunities. Say, let us say one example of say agri-related companies. We are very bullish on that sector. We come to that later. But there are hardly any opportunities available in large cap. So to participate in the next sector rotation, to participate in the next growth stories, you have to look beyond the large cap. What we have seen in past, like say defense sector, we won't name a single company which was falling into large cap in defense sector, but how defense sector as a whole has performed. At the same time, mining companies. So we participated into mining companies. But all the companies were, except Coal India, all the companies was falling into small cap category only. So as an investor or as a fund manager or as an analyst, everyone has to come about this mindset that okay, large cap is good, or a small cap is higher volatile or higher risk. No, that mindset is history now. You have to adapt to the changes, and based on the valuation metrics as well as the financial, you have to pick up the company.
Thank you, sir. And when you spoke about agriculture now, so there's a statement that you are bullish about agriculture as a sector and rural economy. And of course, there are a lot of factors that will support it. But like, a government is employing cash to that sector, and we have farmers' income is getting doubled. Apart from these, what are the data points? Or what are the factors that you feel will attract to these sectors?
See, we are basically very bullish on the rural economy. Historically, whenever sector rotation happens, that is government's decision or government's influence is one of the very major factor when for this sector rotation. Post-election, what we are seeing is that NDA lost many seats, almost 30 from the rural part of the India, and probably one of the decision which the central government failed was the doubling the farmers' income. And post-election result also what we see is that there is only one change in the cabinet is of the agriculture minister. So those are the triggers. We believe that government's focus will be there. At the same time, we are seeing some because of the inflation plus there were some poor monsoon in last 2 years. Rural demand was not picking up. Now on the data side, we are expecting above normal monsoon and spread across the India. So that is one of the very big trigger. At the same time, government focus is now more on the farmers. Like, the immediate decision was to raise the MSP for many crops. In budget, government announced that Prime Minister Modi announced that he will be going with 110 new seeds varieties. So those are the triggers. And when rural economy does well, overall India will do well. So in agriculture, we have started buying some of the fertilizer stocks. On the ancillary side, we have bought one dairy industry, and we are buying one a seed company. So together, we intend to have at least 20% exposure allocated to that sector.
So when you talk about that seed sector, seed as an industry, so I would say, there's some stocks that came into your portfolio, like ONG, it can be ONGC or it can be Kaveri seeds. So what is that, the data points or the factors that you influence you to bring in these sectors or into your portfolio?
Yeah, very nice observation. So there are four ONGC and four Kaveri seeds. Both the companies are different thought process. We had very good run up in last 2 years. So before election, we thought that we should now focus to preserve this growth. So how do we preserve the growth that we have achieved? One portion is increase the cash level. We did the same. We increased our cash portion from around 3-4% to now 8-7-8%. Another is to diversify to somewhat from small cap to the large cap. So in the large cap, of course we don't deviate from our investment philosophy of growth plus value stocks. So that's why we bought recently ONGC, GAIL India, and Ultratech Cements. Yeah, Ultratech Cement. Those are the large cap companies which is part of the portfolio. So even if we see some sharp movement, probably my portfolio will will have lesser impact. Kaveri seed is part of course, the agriculture thing. What we are seeing is that government is becoming climate change. The impact of it is very much visible. Now with the incentive from the government, now farmers are also looking to to look at the higher yield seeds, and Kaveri seeds is one of the best placed bet on that sector. So
Yes. Thank you. I mean, you talk about sector rotation. So sector rotation is very vital in any large mid or small cap thing. And one more thing I would like to add upon is that the sectors like FMCG or capital goods, these sectors are done every other PMS or every other strategy. So what makes it different? And do you think there's a herd mentality over, because FMCG is doing good, every other PMS houses will go and catch opportunities FMCG. So is there any place or any time in your past experience where when the whole industry was against one sector or one thing, but you had invested, and what is the outcome of it?
See, you spoke about FMCG, right? So we earlier invested into KRBL Limited. Okay. What classifies one company as a FMCG? Fast moving consumer goods, that consumption. Okay. The basmati rice, if you take, that is a staple food for most of the GCC countries. Okay. And India Gate, the flagship brand of the KRBL Limited, was having the highest share in the Middle East. Okay. So we would prefer to classify them as a FMCG instead of a commodity business. And we made almost 5x or more than that in that particular company because the earnings were growing. At the same time, they got re-rated from the commodity business to the kind of not the far stretch FMCG, but at least to reasonably valued where you can consider this is not a commodity valuation. So that is one example I can share with you. Similarly, the companies where we are bullish normally are underrated because we are very conservative valuation. We prefer to give very conservative valuation to the companies, but those companies has a merits. those companies have 3 to 5 years time horizon game plan, like what we did in Arvind. Okay, Arvind traditionally more than 100 years old company. It is a traditional textile company, went into the garmenting. The when the new management came into play, the role, they started with advanced material division, and for us that was the trigger. So advanced material in last 5 years has grown from 600 crores to almost I think 2,500 crores of top line, is contributing to the Arvind, and at the same time throughout the journey they are having EBITDA margin of more than 15%. So we believe that now Arvind has a capability of getting re-rated. So it may not fetch the traditional textile 100-year-old company valuation. It has all the lever available to fetch far better earning ratio, PE ratio.
So when you talk on this cash calls, we could see average, you on average basis, you sit on 3 to 4 cash person. So why do you think a fund manager should take cash calls in the bull market?
See, cash calls are for different reasons. For Care PMS, I can say that some of the small cap companies were having very high valuation. We were evaluating some of the opportunities, but that run up very well. So instead of deploying it, we are sitting on the cash. Even when markets are at lifetime high, probably you go for little conservation, conserving the past performance. That will certainly help. So we intend to deploy it. As a fund manager, of course, it is individual's call. Like mutual funds will have different say on the cash calls. But throughout my last 13 years, we have remained almost fully invested. This is probably one of the incident while our cash portion is above 5%. Right now we are sitting on somewhere 8% on the cash. But we are certainly looking for the opportunities. It is ongoing process. And when we get the opportunity, we won't mind deploying it in one go.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank
So with that, we have come to end of this session, and we have one more session to go, which is rapid fire round. So, of course, there's no hamper for this, but I would like to ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
So I want to have three point views for that. So first question would be the 3 factors that you consider for investing.
For investing, for the new investors?
Yeah.
No.
For investing in stock or sector.
Oh, okay. Investing into stock or sector, of course, the management, the financial and valuation.
Okay. So 3 advice that you want to give to Gen Z investors.
Gain knowledge before investing, build temperament, and if you can't do both of the above, consult a fund manager.
Okay. So probably consult Care PMS.
Yeah.
So the next question. So 3 factors that you would look into while exiting.
Valuation, changes in the fundamental, and probably the best opportunity, another best opportunity.
So 3 factors we don't know about Mr. Arpit Shah.
Personally, I am very introvert and shy guy. At the same time, as an investor, I am very aggressive. And I consider myself as a visionary person, because I started this company from scratch to we have almost crossed 1,000 crores. We have seen all the ups and downs. So I would consider myself as a good risk appetite. With a good risk appetite. Yeah.
Okay. And one last question, Rico. So you're the first gen entrepreneur in this industry. So what do you think, what do you want to be remembered as?
I would like first, and which is non-negotiable thing, is about the ethics. I would be like to call that we don't compromise on the ethics. Second, of course, for the performance. And the third about, of course, my company Care PMS, which has grown from scratch to 1,000 crores and probably many more thousands to come.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's Avish from PMS Bazaar as well.
Yeah, thanks to PMS Bazaar, Akshara, R. Pallav, Rajan, everyone. Thank you very much.
The stock sector, which was discussed in this interview, nothing to be taken as an advice, neither from PMS Bazaar or nor from CAR. And all investments are subject to market risk, and investors are subject to read all the documents before investing.